I've heard a lot of experts say that fear isn't real. That's such a bunch of baloney. Fear is so real, and in fact, there are probably things that you're afraid of doing right now in your life. Whether it's relationships, work, or personal growth, the fact that you're afraid, that's actually robbing you of all the experiences you want to have. If you're afraid to fly, that's going to limit your ability to travel and see the world, or visit friends. If you're afraid of public speaking, that's going to hold you back from expressing yourself and sharing your ideas. If you're afraid to talk to your boss or ask for a raise, that directly impacts how much money you make. And what if you're dreaming of starting a business or already have one, but you're afraid to talk to people or share it? Fear is something that stops us all, and that's why I want to share with you how you don't have to let it. Fear is real, but I'm going to give you a secret weapon I've used for years to beat every single fear that used to stop me. First, before we get into that secret weapon, I want to cover a few facts about fear, what it is, what it isn't, and some things you may not know about it. First, fear is a physical state in your body that is exactly the same as excitement. Let me say that again. Fear and excitement are the exact same physical state. Your heart races, you might sweat a little, you might feel tightening in your chest and a pit in your stomach. You have a surge of cortisol, basically, your body's way of going into a hyper-aware state because it thinks it's preparing for action. So, what's the difference between fear and excitement? It's simple. The only difference is what your brain is doing while your body is all agitated. If you're excited, your brain's saying, "Wow, this is so cool," like riding a roller coaster. If you're afraid, your brain's saying, "No way, this is dangerous, get out of there." What's critical here is understanding this fact, because we're going to use the fact that your mind is either working for you or against you, either convincing you that it's excitement or fear to your advantage. And I'll tell you how in just a moment. Second, I want you to understand that you may have heard the advice, feel the fear and do it anyway, or just try to calm down and think positive. But here's the truth, those don't work. Why? Because when you're afraid, your body is in a state of high arousal and agitation. Your heart's racing, you're amped up, you're hyper-aware. When you're calm, you're relaxed, but that's very difficult to do when you're in an overexcited state. It's like trying to stop a train by throwing a boulder on the tracks. This will cause disaster. Research has proven that trying to ignore your fears actually makes them worse. And positive thinking alone can worsen fear, because it doesn't address the physiological state. So, what do you do when you have to talk to your boss, fly, or give a presentation and you're feeling fear? You use a strategy I've used for years that has helped me turn high-stress situations into moments of confidence. Here's how. You'll use my 5-second rule combined with what I call an anchor thought. This shifts your mind from feeling agitation and fear to reframing it as excitement. Magic happens when you do this. I've applied this technique for years, literally, and I want to take you backstage to a moment when I delivered a speech this year. You'll see me backstage, about to walk out, with the crowd roaring. You can hear my intro video playing, and my body is definitely in a state of arousal. My heart's racing, arms sweating. It's like I'm nervous, but I'm not afraid. I'm excited. I tell myself, I'm excited, and that simple thought tricks my brain. I explain that adrenaline and physical sensations, sweaty palms, butterflies are the same whether you call it fear or excitement. When I say I'm excited, I send a message to my brain that reduces fear and ramps up excitement. That's because the only difference between fear and excitement is what your brain calls it. Now I want to give you one more example to make sure you really get how powerful this is. Many of you have written about your fear of flying. I can relate, I used to have that fear too, but I used the same strategy to conquer it. Here's the process. Before facing something that makes you nervous, come up with an anchor thought, something that anchors you emotionally. For example, if you're flying, picture walking on the shores of Lake Michigan with your loved ones. That makes you happy and excited. If it's a conversation with your boss, think about how great you felt after having that chat, how you survived and felt good about it. Once you have your anchor thought, when turbulence hits on a plane or your body starts to get nervous, you perform the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. This interrupts your fear, switches your gears, and awakens your prefrontal cortex. Then, immediately, you think about your anchor thought walking on the beach, being with loved ones, and tell yourself, I'm excited. That simple shift alerts your brain that this moment is about excitement, not fear, because your body's sensations are the same, and because your thoughts are now aligned with that positive image, your brain buys it. That's how you reframe fear into excitement. Dana used this technique and says she's never been so calm flying. Sarah, petrified of flying, took this approach and shared a photo of herself on a helicopter tour in Hawaii. She was petrified before, now she's enjoying an adventure. For public speaking, Carol had a fear of speaking. She used this method. She gave her speech successfully, checked it off her bucket list, and felt victorious. Fear is real, but you can always control what you think and do. When you feel that fear, just do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go to your anchor thought, and tell yourself you're excited. That's the power of how you beat fear in just 5 seconds. Remember, this isn't just about overcoming fear. It's about empowering yourself to act in confidence in moments that matter most.